Well, hey, just a moment, Mr. Frey, we need to
Thank
make
you.
sure that we have our new system up and running.
No action was taken in
One
closed
second,
session.
Ray, I think they're getting something.
Let me
going.
just double check and make sure that we are live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's you right there. No time.
We should be good.
We good?
We're good?
Okay, no action was taken in closed session. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of board meeting May 23rd, 2023?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Is that the one I missed?
I missed it
Oh,
too.
no, I abstain on that
I
one.
abstain as well.
We
We
can't.
can't vote on
Have
it.
to bring it back.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was the June
Yeah, well,
13th
okay.
meeting that you.
How about the minutes of June 13th?
So that's the one, that's the one.
So that's the one, so we can approve
That's the
that,
one.
the first one, and then you have to
Yeah.
do the second one.
Okay, so the first one is good.
Aye.
Okay. Business from the floor. Board meeting is a business meeting of the board held in a public forum to comply with the Brown Act. It is not a town hall meeting with the board. This is a time for citizens to present problems, questions they feel the board should discuss. Individuals are encouraged to address the full board and not individual board members. The law prohibits the board from taking action on items not on the agenda. Request to speak card should be filled out in advance and presented to the superintendent's executive assistant. The board has a policy limiting any speaker to not more than 3 minutes. For the record, please state your name. Okay. The board will allow the remote public comment. Please follow instructions on the website, busdk12.com under the Board of Trustees tab. We have anybody? No. Moving on. Staff reports. I believe our first one is the enrollment report.
And I'm going to hand that over to Mr. Beaton to report on.
Thank you, Superintendent. Month 10 at the elementary, we dropped 17. At the high school, 24, 29. So we are trending compared to last year at this time, about the same 100 that we've been tracking the whole time. I will point out, month 1 of this year, we went from 200, we gained 200. So we're hoping that same thing happens this year when month 1 comes around for 22-23.
Any questions? Okay, moving on to our monthly cash report. You're up again.
And I'll hand that back over to Mr. Beaton.
At the county on June 20th, we have $57,368,989.49. Cash is good.
Any questions? Okay. Saturday school report for the year 2022, 2023.
Hand that over to yes, me. That's to Ms. Norman.
All right. The Saturday School Report for 22-23 school year. It's an information report here. Saturday School was held on like 8 days, mainly at Barstow High School and Cameron Elementary School. It has a total of 202 days, which students attended. They were able to make up attendance and instructions. Listed below on the chart here for ADA, we received a total of basically in recovery, approximately $3,235.47 for attendance in Saturday school.
Any questions, Carol? Okay. Second semester suspension report for 22-23.
That's Ms. Norman as well.
Suspension report is also information item here. The suspension report shows all the suspensions which were done in the second semester of the 22-23 school year, and is presented how many suspensions from each school. In summary, it gives a total loss of days was 784. The amount of ADA loss was $36,027.41. Information item. And this is basically, for most schools, it was a decrease for the semester, second semester. Hopefully next year we're doing a lot better job and we'll have less suspensions, first and second semester of the school year.
Okay, any questions? Okay, moving on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Ms. Freya. Good evening, board members and guests. I would like to thank Mr. George Gutierrez for taking the helm at the last board meeting earlier this month, along with the assistance of members of the leadership team in my absence. I heard everything went smoothly, and I am grateful to the people I work with every day. I was away from the last meeting attending the Leadership Summit in San Diego, which is an annual summit for superintendents throughout the state. There was great information presented and tools that I'm looking forward to providing to our leadership team, giving the students of Barstow Unified School District the best educational experience possible. I am happy to report that the Barstow Junior High School move from the interim campus back to their newly modernized campus has been completed. I want to acknowledge our custodial, facilities, maintenance, and operations staff for getting that effort handled quickly and efficiently. With the interim campus empty, the crews were also able to complete the move of all 6th grade teachers and classroom materials to the new Barstow Intermediate School. We have just a few items left to finalize before the start of the school year, but everything is coming together and we are excited to welcome the Falcons to their new nest. I want to take a moment and address the vandalism that has taken place at Cameron Elementary School this week. Thieves broke in through the gate and cut electrical wires from the roof of the office. This caused a disruption in power, HVAC, and normal operations of the office, as well as unexpected repair costs to the district. Barstow takes pride in their educational opportunities, and as a community, we need to make sure we are looking out for our educational establishments and holding each other accountable. Incidents like this take money away from our students and the education we can provide them. I would like to wish Mr. Ray Perea a happy birthday on behalf of all of the staff and students of Barstow Unified School District. We appreciate your years of experience in service to our district and wish you nothing but the best as you celebrate today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tonight is another milestone in Barstow Unified School District history, as this is our first board meeting to be broadcast on our new YouTube live channel. We are hopeful that the community will have better access to the business that is taking place here in the district. This is part of our commitment to ensure greater communication and transparency. And finally, I can hardly believe it, but we are only 41 days away from the start of the 2023-2024 school year. Offices are busy, new staff are being hired, and excitement is in the air. Summer school will be wrapping up on July 7th, giving our administrators and staff a well-deserved, albeit short break. Training will begin at the end of July and focus on building relationships with our students, staff, and community. I want to wish the board a great couple of weeks of summer and look forward to our next meeting on July 25th.
Any questions, anybody?
I have one question. On that, at Cameron, how is it that they weren't electrocuted?
Is it this?
We have asked the same question. Actually, someone was speaking to us, Bob Drew was speaking to us today. Someone was speaking to us that if it's 110, the impact is not as, was that you, George?
George, you get shot.
Is it
Not electrician. I have about 110 volts through my body, and it's okay. It doesn't kill you, but 220 will.
220 will.
It all
So-
depends on the grounding and all that,
Yeah, we're not quite
and what
certain.
equipment you're using.
Pretty brazen, aren't they? Just
Pretty brazen, yeah.
right there off the street, right?
Yes.
Amazing.
And we're hopeful that, one, it will stop, so we have no further impact to our school as well as, to the cost that it's imparting on the district. But we have reached out to Barstow Police Department, and we are looking at security for the sites to try to combat the issue. It is a shame.
Yeah,
It's getting
the copper wire, man, must be really
Take that kind of risk.
crazy.
Yeah.
No.
So,
Board input. Julie, would you like to be first?
Sure. I just want to wish you a happy birthday. I had no idea. 49 again.
Again,
So happy birthday.
not quite again, but close.
That's all I have.
I want to say happy birthday to Ray, and then I also wanted to thank everybody here. I know it's not easy doing what you guys do every day, and everybody has this perceived notion that it's the summertime. What's going on? But you guys have been hustling, and I appreciate every single one of you.
Life goes on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I really don't have anything except thank you for the card, and it looks like I got some goodies here too. You guys know that I'm a diabetic, right?
yeah, I think there's some family members that aren't.
I said custard.
You tried.
We didn't have enough time to whip it up, so.
Well, I appreciate it anyway. Thank you all very much. We don't have a student rep with us today. How about our BEA rep?
We do not have a
No
report,
CSEA rep.
and we have no CSEA
Man, this is,
report.
we're going along smoothly. No personnel commission rep?
We do have a personnel commission report. Mrs. Crane is grabbing it right now. She'll be
Okay.
back in just a moment.
All right.
All right, no worries.
Got it?
Board members and guests, I apologize for not being in attendance. However, my house is ground zero for family arriving for my nephew's wedding on Friday. With 2 fifth wheels, numerous motorcycles, as well as 6 family members, someone has to be the adult while the rest of the family reverts to the folly of their youth. The next commission meeting is scheduled for August 10th. There are currently 356 classified employees employed with the district. I hope everyone has an enjoyable 4th of July and summer break. Thank you, Patricia Dool, Director of Classified Personnel and Secretary to the Personnel Commission.
Thank you, Patricia. Do we have any presentations or recognitions?
I think we do the adoption of the agenda.
No.
We just go to adoption.
Any communications?
Oh, we skipped adoption, yeah. The adoption of the agenda.
Adoption of the, I'm sorry, I skipped over the adoption of the agenda. Can we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Second.
Does anybody want to move anything? Okay. No presentations, recognitions, or communications. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or anything? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Discussion items. L11, can I have a motion to discuss calendar board of events?
So moved.
Second.
Recommending the Board of Trustees approve the calendar of board of events for 2023-2024 school year as presented.
So we have the 2023-2024 calendar of board events. We have gone through and updated the list to ensure accuracy in the items that are presented to the board each month, and it is presented to the board for approval tonight.
We good?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
L12, can we have a motion to approve the calendar for schedule of board trustees meetings 23-24?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. recommending the Board of Trustees approve the following proposed calendar for the schedule of Board of Trustees meetings for the school year 2023 to 2024, as presented.
And this schedule reflects the meeting schedule for 2023-2024, and it is provided to the board for approval.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. L13, can I have a motion to approve revision of board policy 6200, adult ed?
It's just for.
This is
Just for
informational, I'm sorry. Has everyone had a chance to read it? This will be our first reading. Okay, moving on to L21. Can I have a motion to approve the early literacy support block grant for Crestline?
So moved.
Second.
Recommending the Board of Trustees approve the annual report, update on progress implementing the literacy action plan, and requested budget modifications of the early literacy support block grant for Crestline Elementary.
Hand this over to Ms. Bader.
Thank you. Dr. Williams, will you click on where it says May 2023 ELSP journey? I'll summarize here. Board, we have Mr. Norman here to help support with the overview of the early literacy support block grant, which Crestline has had for the last 3 years. We are moving into our 4th and final year of the grant coming up. So we're just gonna go through and look at the slides and talk about the progress that Crestline has made, and Mr. Norman is here to support that as well. So as an overview, the literacy action plan goals, which were created back during the pandemic. So it's been interesting to see the progress, coming through with that. Goal 1 was to increase the students' increase sight words and increase fluency, excuse me. I just put those all together. Goal 2 was to basically develop themselves, the teachers, with assessments and ensuring that the assessments were aligned to everything that they were doing. And then goal 3 was to increase student DRA reading scores. So over the course of this year, students overall, this is K through 3, we saw a 91% increase in sight word recognition. 66% of students increased reading fluency as well. The site went through with the help, and we'll see a little bit of this in a couple of slides, went through and worked with the county in aligning their assessments to be able to use them more efficiently and establish equivalent indicators for success. So they brought in more data points and were able to coordinate all of that information. And then on the DRA level, 74% of students increased by 1 DRA level, and 23% increased by 6 or more DRA levels, which the goal originally had been that 70% of students would increase by 6 levels. Still seeing some slow growth, but continuous growth. And so especially that 74% increasing by 1 DRA level is really looking good. So next slide. Looking ahead for the upcoming school year, and after this, maybe Mr. Norman can kind of talk about some of the things that have gone into this plan for next year. The site is going to be working with our county with ensuring that they have coaching and training for not only their K-3 teachers, but they have also 2 paraeducators who are funded through the literacy grant. And so they're going to be working on a lot of really important foundational skills for reading. So they're going to be implementing a program called Systematic Improvement for Phonological Awareness, Phonics, and Spelling. They'll also be working with sound spelling cards, really looking at the data. They're also going to be working in continuing actually work that they've been working with Scholastic on guided reading and whole group reading instruction for K-3 teachers. They're also building up their classroom libraries to ensure that they have really diverse libraries with cultural diversity, STEM books, a lot of like really high interest and culturally relevant and up-to-date books. So the kids are interested in. And then also providing families with expanded literacy engagement, family engagement through their Latino Family Literacy Project, as well as the African American Literacy class. I don't know, Mr. Norman, do you have anything to add to those aspects?
I think you pretty much summed it up, but we really are looking to increase our numbers on the California dashboard. And so we're working to get out of CSI right now, out of school improvement. And so we're beginning at the foundation in our early grades. And so we're really excited about the progress that we're making. And we're looking to also increase our evidence-based practices. And we're looking to just do a school-wide with fidelity.
So on the next slide, some of the things that happened over the course of this year. Again, student behaviors. There was a little bit of an increase with behaviors this year that last year was interesting because it was coming out of COVID. This year, we would have anticipated that we would have perhaps had, everything would have run smoothly, but, students are still adjusting. So the group just really worked as a team, really, went through and looked to see what it is that students particularly needed. Another challenge that they faced was that they were able, I'll kind of skip to the bottom one, we were finally able to get a contract with the county. So they've been really short-staffed. So it was really wonderful being able to get that contract going, having, and Mr. Norman can attest to this, and also getting the Scholastic Guided Reading going. And then those two coaches working in tandem with each other and really supporting Mr. Norman in the site. So we're really starting to see some amazing progress with that. Some of the things that the teachers experienced in terms of challenge was in that coaching model. We were short-staffed with subs. So in a typical coaching model, there would be a sub who would be able to cover the classroom, and then the teacher would be able to meet with the coach and do some planning and that kind of that. But when there weren't subs available, the staff just really worked with each other, covered each other, were able to ensure that everyone who needed to have coaching, they were able to have that opportunity. Mr. Norman?
I just want to thank Mr. Gutierrez for making sure that we're going to start the year pretty much fully staffed. And we're looking at just supporting, each other there. I also want to just add to this is that for us right now, this is so important because we really want to make sure that the growth that we have is real growth. And so bringing those coaches in, making sure that we're looking at the appropriate, data points and so that as our kids move through the system, that they're ready. And so that's kind of just what I wanted to say about that.
Mm-hmm. So on the next slide, the accomplishments. And I do want to point out that this particular slide deck was created. Mr. Norman and I met with the team, the K-3 literacy team at the site. And so they went through and put this information. These are their words. So what they felt were their greatest accomplishments this year was collaborating, of course, like I said before, with our county literacy coach and Scholastic Guided Reading coach, being able to build capacity and increased instructional focus for teachers to provide engaging and focused reading instruction for their students, implementing the guided reading training and instruction in their K-3 classrooms. So really excited about that. Really intentional planning for guided reading with their coaching support, and then also providing literacy intervention for struggling students and helping them to see their successes. And on our final, they're just really looking forward to continuing to learn and implement the best practices for teaching reading, using data to adjust instruction for higher student achievement. Mr. Norman, I'll allow you to go ahead and finish it up.
I just want to say what all of the great things that we're doing over at Crestline, we are going to be an elite school. And I'm not going to sleep and we're not going to sleep. We're going to work together. We're going to be one of those schools that everyone wants to attend. And we're just so grateful for programs like this grant to support us in getting where we're trying to go. So I'm just excited about our future and the things that we're going to be doing in the years years to come.
Any questions?
No, thank you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing all. the
I'm
things that you guys
happy to see the optimism.
do. Yeah,
You're enthused, that's great. Makes a big difference.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. L22. Can we get a motion to approve the local indicators for California School Board?
Did we vote on,
California School Dashboard, I'm
I
sorry.
did
think we
we
need to
vote
vote
on the last one?
Pardon me?
Did we vote on?
Got a
Oh,
motion,
okay.
but not a vote.
All in favor, I'm sorry.
Aye.
That's okay.
you're good.
Motion passes. All right, now, L22. Can I get a motion to approve local indicators for California School Dashboard?
So,
Second?
Recommending the Board of Trustees approve the Barstow Unified School District's local indicators inclusion on the California School Dashboard.
Mr. Guthrie?
Yeah, so this is step 2 of building our 2023 California dashboard data for our school district. Step 1 is that obviously we have school, we create data. That data is sent to the state via CalPAS uploads. And this step is where we will report on our local indicators that don't show up in CalPAS, but are it's information that we gather along the way. So as we move to slide 2, what's going to be reported? We're going to report about whether or not teachers are appropriately assigned, whether or not students have had access to curriculum-aligned instructional materials, and whether or not our classrooms and schools are safe, clean, and functional. That's part of the Williams Act. That usually happens in August when we bring it to you for review. We also are going to report on the implementation of state academic standard, that's Common Core standards, parent engagement, which is really important to us, school climate, which this year we're using a different tool to report that information, and finally access to a broad course of study. And each of those priorities are listed there. There are actually 8 state priorities that we're held to. Many of them are reported through CalPAS, as I mentioned earlier. The ones that are listed here are reported via both this report to the board and also through the dashboard when we upload in November. Next slide. First priority would be appropriately assigned teachers, and you'll see number 1, we have 0% of our teachers this last year that were misassigned. So great job to the personnel department in making sure that we're finding credentialed teachers that are prepared to teach our students. Percentage of students without access to their own copies of standards aligned materials. Again, another 0%. You received that information in September at the 8-week point where we reported the Williams Act requirements. And then finally, whether or not our facilities were in good repair. We had 0 extreme deficiencies. I think we had 12 repairable deficiencies, which were mostly fixed on the spot. There were 3 or 4 that required a work order and were fixed within a month. Next slide. Speaking about state academic standards, this came about when we adopted Common Core state standards as a state in 2014. The expectation here is that we're both teaching our teachers how to administer state standards, as well as having access to the materials and making sure that our policies and programs are supporting staff with improving instruction. You'll find that with PD, full implementation, we have a very robust early out Wednesday schedule of trainings. We have the ELSB grant. We have math training through the county. We have MTSS training that's going on, as well as PBIS training and others. And you'll find with bullet number 3, we have full implementation and sustainability and with the programs that I just listed. Okay, next slide. Parent engagement. We rely on our Title I parent survey to figure out whether or not our parents are responding to our surveys and whether or not we're doing a good job getting those surveys out to them and publicizing them at the right level. You'll find that we had 829 participants in our Title I survey. At this point, every one of our schools is a Title I school, which is different from even as soon as 4 years ago when Barstow Fine Arts came on board. Barstow Intermediate School is not yet a Title I school. However, given the demographics of the school, that students that are coming to them, they will become Title I. You'll see at some point during the 23-24 school year, Ms. Fisher will bring an item to you for approval, identifying them as such. The questions that were asked to our parents were questions such as parents are informed of student progress, etc. School and teachers are available at the convenience of parents, respond to concerns. Parents are encouraged to volunteer, provide training. They're aware of the Title I program. If you're a parent at a school, you'll remember that at one of the PTA meetings or one of the monthly meetings, they probably had a Title I parent meeting where you received information about the school, about the programs, and how the money's being spent. And then finally, parents are satisfied with the curricular programs. You'll find with the survey results that parents' answers were agree 73% of the time, which is a good number. Answer would disagree is 10%, and then no opinion was 17%. Of course, we always have room for improvement. We'll continue to work on that. One of the areas that we really want to increase upon is the number of participants, getting our parents to participate in the survey so that we have those results. So that's something we're really working on. Next slide has to do with the school climate, LCFF Priority 6. This year is different than any year prior. Prior to this year, we were using the California Healthy Kids Survey to survey our students, our parents, and our staff on how they felt about different aspects of their experience with our schools and at our schools. Through a couple of our different plans here in our district, one of them being the CSIS plan, which is a response to being what's the term? Disproportionality with our students who are African American being identified in our special ed programs. We have been identified as, it's been decided that we've identified too many African American students in our special ed programs, which has prompted the need to create what's called a CSIS plan. We're on our second plan, and through that process and through that work, which many of the people sitting at this table today are part of that, we identified that the Youth Truth Survey, which is being used across the nation and definitely across our county, is a much better indicator for how our folks are feeling about their experience with our schools. So we've made that transition. It's in-depth school level data. It allows for student feedback used to inform school and district level planning. 2.6 million students across the United States, 39 of them to be exact, are utilizing the Youth Truth Survey. 590,000 staff and families are being surveyed through this venue. And probably most importantly, the student perceptions that are part of this survey are directly tied to academic outcomes. So we're really excited about that because the information that we glean from the survey helps us with identifying gaps in student learning and why are those gaps there. Next slide. So just to kind of talk a little bit about the meat of the survey. The areas that I'd like to talk about first are the areas of feeling a sense of belonging and a sense of engagement. And this year's survey, we attempted to survey all of our grades 3 through 12, which is different from the Healthy Kids Survey. Healthy Kids Survey, we identified 5th grade, 7th grade, and 9th grade. We felt that Youth Truth was a better indicator, so that opened up access to grades 3 through 12. The language that's used in the survey is appropriate for the grade levels. Similar to the Healthy Kids Survey, the survey requires an active permission, meaning elementary students have to take a permission slip home, parents have to sign it and send it back in order for the student to have access to the survey. We're still working on how to improve upon that. As of yet, the number of responses we received for students was 2,269. Family surveys response was 449. Staff survey response was 168 for a grand total of 2,886. I don't have the Healthy Kids Survey response rate in front of me, but I can tell you it's at least a 500% increase from last year. So I have much more data to look at given using Youth Truth. So for the elementary grades, a general question, do you feel safe at school? The response, a positive response, meaning I really feel safe at school, or yes, I generally feel safe at school. That response was 49% at the elementary level. Comparing that to the Youth Truth surveys across the United States, that number is 61%. So we're at 49, across the United States, 61. With does your teacher want you to do your best? In our districts, 85%. Across the nation, 92%. At the secondary grades, the question being whether or not most students are friendly. At our middle school level, BUSD number is 48% positive. Across the nation, 63%. High school level, 54%. Across the nation, 65%. So you'll notice with these numbers, we're a little behind the national average. Part of that can be attributed to this is baseline data. This is the first time our students have taken this survey. So we expect that those numbers will improve with time, as well as the work we're doing with developing our MTSS model, our intervention teams for supporting schools with extreme behaviors, revamping our SEL, our peer counselor support position that will be transformed into an SEL coach position, which will support with a lot of these efforts. At the secondary grade level, also the question being, do you feel safe at school? At the middle school level, 33%. Youth Truth across the country, 58%. High school level, 32%, and 62% across the country. Moving on to the next slide, for the key indicators of relationships and culture, our positive responses were, does your teacher care about you? 70% BUSD, 80% nationwide. Do students treat the teacher with respect? BUSD 29%, nationwide 42%. At the secondary grades, as it relates to relationships and culture, at the middle school level, does the teacher believe in you? BUSD 71%. Across the nation, 78%. High school level, 70% believe their teacher believes in them. In BUSD, and nationwide 76%, so it's a very close number. And then finally, at the secondary, adults treat students with respect. Middle school level 47%, nationwide 64%. High school level 42%, nationwide 67%. I'll stop there for a second. Are there any questions, concerns, thoughts?
No, just
A little
be a little
concerning.
concerned about feeling safe at school. I definitely would want that number to be a lot higher than
Right.
it is.
And I can tell you there are a lot of irons in the fire. Per Superintendent Swearingen's, at her request and insistence, that we are putting programs and policies in place that are going to directly address the factors that are leading to these numbers. And we feel confident that we're going to be able to make some great strides in our next school year. I think you heard some of the information from our consultants via the Office of Attorney General. And there are definitely things we're doing really well. There are other things that we're working on, and there are some other things that we're getting some help with. And that's part of running schools. We're continuing to improve our practice. Okay, moving on to the staff responses. In the areas of engagement, relationships, and culture, whether or not the school sets high expectations, 66% of our teachers felt that positively that we're setting high expectations. Students and staff caring about each other, 65%. Whether or not discipline is in the school is fair, 36%. My school is respectful of races and or ethnicities, elementary 83%, middle school 66%, high school 69%. And then finally, the parent responses, you'll see that high expectations was similar to staff, 66%. Staff and students caring about each other, similar to staff, 66%. Discipline being fair in the school, it's a higher number, 56%. I apologize, but I don't have the nationwide numbers for you. I can get you those in a Friday report if you'd like. I can definitely do that. And then finally, is the school respectful of races and or ethnicities? Elementary 61%, middle school 45%, high school 50%. And again, this is data points. These are data points that we are going to make part of our 2023 dashboard. They'll become public sometime in January, and that will be for public consumption. However, the work to start digging into the data and making choices and identifying resources to support the increased efforts to increase or reduce some of these numbers is already happening. It actually has been happening all year. We just have these kind of checkpoints where we share data, but the data is only as important and useful as when you're discussing it. So an example of that would be we have a district-wide MTSS team where monthly we're reviewing this data and it's informing decisions that are coming forward that again will hopefully provide increased results.
Any questions? Thank you, Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Can I have a motion to approve L41, purchase order listing 0606 2023 to 0619 2023?
So moved.
Second.
Recommending the Board of Trustees approve the purchase orders listed in the attached purchase order board report totaling $10,700.
A week.
Thank you.
Mr. Beaton?
So this is for purchases from June 8th through, how can that be, June 7th through June 8th. We had two, one for Playtronics, was the mobile radio programming, and we have some doorway concrete work that we're doing at the junior high school to get us to GSA approval. And so those are the two big items.
Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Can I have a motion to approve L42, adoption of the 2023-24 Barstow Unified School District budget?
So moved.
Second.
Recommending the Board of Trustees adopt the proposed 2023-24 Barstow Unified School District budget, approve the criteria and standards and other related schedules required by the county and state, and authorize the superintendent or designee to sign all necessary documents on behalf of the district.
The required public hearing was held at the last board meeting on June 13, and it is presented to the board for final approval, and I'll pass it to Mr. Deaton for any further comments.
So we did present the budget at our last meeting. We aligned it with the LCAP, and we're recommending them.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item L43 is an information only. Inland Personnel Council Agreement for Special Services 2023 to 2026, presenting the Inland Personnel Council Agreement for Special Services as information to the Board of Trustees. Okay. Item L6A1. Can I have a motion to approve public hearing for provisional internships, permits, or PIP for educators for 2023-2024 school year?
So moved.
Second.
Recommending the Board of Trustees adjourn to a public hearing to provide an opportunity for the board to receive input concerning the proposed provisional internship permits. Adjourning to public hearing at 5:45. reconvened at 5:46. Following the public hearing, recommend that the Board of Trustees approve the submission to the state of the said permit pertaining to specific California teaching credential requirements. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item L, 6A2. Your motion to approve BEA MOU number 23/24-001, verified experience credit between Barstow Unified School District and Barstow Education Association.
So moved.
Second.
Recommending the Board of Trustees approve the BEA MOU number 23/24-001, verified experience credit between Barstow Unified School District and the Barstow Education Association, effective May 23rd, 2023 through June 30, 2024.
Mr. Gutierrez?
Yes, so we negotiated in good faith with BEA. And this MOU addresses one of our needs as a district to attract qualified teachers and give them credit, 50 years credit, work experience credit. Currently, we offer 7 years, and we usually place people on the 8th column, on the 8th step, sorry. So, yeah, this will allow us to attract more qualified teachers, and in turn, support the academic goals that we have in our district. And we recommend this present to you for approval.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. L6A3, BEA MOU number 23/24-002, professional development time/buyback days between Barstow Unified School District and the Barstow Education Association.
So moved.
Second.
Recommending the Board of Trustees approve BEA MOU number 23/24-002, professional development time/buyback days between Barstow Unified School District and the Barstow Education Association, effective July 1, 2023 through June 30, 2024.
Mr. Gutierrez?
Yes, thank you. So again, this MOU was bargained in good faith with BEA, and it'll support the district goals to ensure that we have properly, that we have teachers that are properly trained with the curriculum, with the other efforts of Kagan strategies per se, and other identified needs that our teachers are in need of, growing, and the district is supporting those efforts to increase academic achievement. These buyback days, we have identified 5 of them. I think we're gonna do 2 at the beginning of the school year and 1 at the beginning of the school year. So that has changed, okay? So 1 at the beginning of the school year, and then we do have other dates in the calendar that allow us to bring them back for professional development. And we recommend approval.
Any questions?
I think it's a great idea.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item L6B1, decrease in work hours of classified positions. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Recommending the Board of Trustees approve the decrease in work hours for 1 vacant paraeducator position, CIA PRO 82, from 6.5 hours per day to 3.75 hours per day, 185 days per year, are range 24 at Skyline Elementary, effective June 28th, 2023.
Mr. Gutierrez?
Yes, thank you. So Dr. McDonald, the site principal, has worked with her school site council and through the SIPSA process to reduce the hours of this vacant position. It is a vacant position. And based on their recommendation, it would meet the immediate needs of the students at her site, and the superintendent recommends approval.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Do we have any items for future board meetings? Do we need to go back closed session? Okay, we adjourn at 5:50.
Good job.